Look around any neighborhood and you'll probably see the same thing. Well-kept, manicured lawns, trimmed shrubbery, flower, and vegetable gardens. Now currently, gardening is one of the most popular pastimes in America, but with this hobby comes a rich history.
When the colonists came to the United States, particularly on the East Coast, all the gardening that they did, any landscaping they did, was always according to how they remembered it in England. So it was always an English model. And so that design was important in the 1700s, and in the 1800s it evolved to a different kind of view. So it's been an important part of our history, that whole English background.
Like many Americans, Thomas Mickey loves to garden. However, this particular gardener and professor of communication studies enjoyed the hobby so much he decided to go for training in landscape design at the Harvard Landscape Institute.
I finished that in '06, and that was the same year that I went to the Smithsonian on a fellowship that I received to study marketing of plants in the 19th century, plants and seeds. So it all kind of came together during that period. The idea of public relations and gardening hinges on the concept that when you promote something, whether it's a plant or a seed, or it could be anything, any product or service, you're always at the same time promoting a cultural value, a way that you're supposed to do things, a way that you're supposed to be within this culture. So when the seed companies and the nurseries in the 19th century sold seeds and plants, they always sold them with the idea that the person who plants it or who uses the seed should do it in a way that is English. And so the essays and the images in the catalogs are always of English gardens. Simple, sometimes complex, sometimes picturesque. So that's how I got interested in it. And it's kind of fun because it's a way that makes the product more acceptable to us. So we like it because it taps into what we could do with it, how it could make us, in this case, a better gardener.
Already, Dr. Mickey's research has generated national attention from the Garden Club of America. And now he's using his research in his first blog, found on AmericanGardening.net, and a manuscript he hopes to turn into a book deal.
People can comment on what I've said, which is what has happened already, and then I comment on what they say. So the blog is a combination of gardening and history of gardening, and particularly the history of English gardening. So, for example, one posting that I did was on trimming shrubs. Very trimmed shrubs were an essential feature in formal English gardens. But as the English moved away into more informal, more natural, the trimming of the shrubs became less important. So today, even today, we have this idea of now, should I really trim this, shouldn't I trim it? Well, that's really an old question that the English have dealt with over a long period of time. The same thing is true with the lawn. The lawn is an essential ingredient of the English landscape from about 1600 till even today, even though there are many problems with the lawn. To have a lawn is the most visible sign that your landscape is English. So gardening really is the landscape. It's your veggie plot, your flower garden. It's how you handle the plants and the space around your home.
Dr. Mickey had the chance to view his subject matter firsthand during a trip to England last summer.
It was fabulous to see these gardens, one of which dates back to 1740. So the way that it was created in 1740, it's been added to a little bit, but it's basically that old English design of the long stretch of lawn and the trees at the bordering the edges. And then the kitchen garden, which is where the veggies grew and the herbs, that was always walled, and that's off in the distance, not near the house. So when you came up to the house, you always saw this big spread of lawn. It was really great. I loved it.
However, as people are becoming more concerned over today's environment, it's become a trend to go towards native plants like perennials and tall grass, rather than millions of grass seeds. But that's creating problems in some areas of the country.
In one city, these people were actually taken to court because they didn't take care of their front lawn the way the neighborhood image of the front lawn is supposed to be. So they were mandated by the city to clean up their lawn, their front lawn, which was really native plants growing the way they wanted to grow, and create a lawn just like everybody else. So the lawn is probably the biggest relic of the English landscape. And we love it and we hate it, and at the same time today we wonder whether or not we should do this.
One can only predict where the future of gardening will go, but to read more about its historical impact, visit Thomas Mickey's blog at americangardening.net.
The idea from the 19th century was you should make them look like they're a pleasure to look at and a pleasure to be in, so that as you walk them you feel a sense of nature, you feel a sense of relief, you feel a sense of pleasure when you're walking around. So it isn't just gardening, it's gardening for a sense of identity, a sense of being at ease, a sense of relaxation, which is why a lot of people garden.
For Bridgewater This Week, I'm Alicia Fortin.